Jonathan Barratt, he's Managing Director at Commodity Broking Services. He's joining us live today from Sydney. Jonathan, welcome back to the show. I want to talk about your outlook now for the base metals. We've seen copper drop. Last week, it fell for the first time in 5 weeks on a rebounding dollar. Do you think that's in line with expectations? Do you think copper is overvalued?
Oh, Zeb, look, it's actually seeing copper fall to these levels over the last couple of nights is music to my ears. We've been forecasting the copper market to start to come under pressure for about the last 4 weeks and have positions there. And when I actually saw what was occurring to the price action and that continuing inventory build together with the blowing out of the backwardation, it started to suggest that I think we are still on the right track. And I think for me, copper can continue to come under pressure.
Yeah, let's talk about what levels. Where do you see copper trading? Where do you see it falling to?
Look, I think copper in itself has been a fantastic trend. When you do get a chance to look at the technicals, it's just been following this beautiful trend channel. Now, we're advocating adding to positions when in fact it breaks levels like now 325, 300, and we can actually see it on breaking those levels actually reach close to around about that 270, and I've actually got a call in the back of my mind for 250. I'm actually sort of still feeling that these inventories, and remember inventories are on a 9.5-month high at the moment with the backwardation, and in my mind that's pretty negative.
Yeah, you note 270, but you say 250 as well. When might we hit that level for copper?
Well, let's see how the markets work. I mean, let's look at some trigger points. But I think we also got to work out that if the economies, the macro picture, unfolds the way we suspect it to unfold, then those numbers could be reached towards the middle of the year. But at the moment, I think we're in that bearish mood.
Before the break, we were talking about the impact of China. How is the China situation factoring into the copper price right now, and as you see it going through the first half of the year?
Look, at the moment we're still seeing inventory builds in Shanghai. That to me is very interesting because we've got real consumption concerns in China given the state of the residential market and the bubble that the Chinese authorities are actually trying to cool. So when you've got the authorities trying to cool speculation and demand, you've then got to start to think, well, whilst inventories are building in their own home market, then consumption is not right for prices to move on. So you've got the global and you've got the China story starting to evolve, so that I think playing into that, prices Q1 and Q2 I think must be lower.
Okay, so short copper on a technical trade, that's the message here to investors from your perspective. Quick question on aluminum. It's also lower on a concern about a slowdown in demand. What's your forecast on aluminum right now, Jonathan?
I think when I look at the overall forecast, I think some of these prices of some of these base metals have really got between 10 to 20% worth of decline in the first 1 to 2 quarters, and I think it's a general picture. Aluminium with energy costs up at these levels, with oil, which is obviously trading just off or a couple of dollars off its highs of the last couple of weeks, that will impact aluminium a little bit more. So I could probably see that aluminium in my mind also looks right to be bearish.
And quick question on oil here. You just noted it. Where do you see oil falling? You've obviously turned contrarian on this here. You think around the $65 a barrel level for oil?
Well, you see, I think at the end of the day, we looked at US 80, 82 was the top end, and I think we're a little bit too early in some of our forecasts for this. We didn't really picture in what the weather was actually going to do, and obviously now we've seen adverse weather conditions ease, we've seen inventories once again build, and I think when we've got a much warmer outlook for Northern Hemisphere weather at the moment, I think that oil can come under pressure. From these levels, I would think I'd look at US $70 a barrel, and hopefully I can reach my target of US 65, but let's just see how things behave.
Jonathan, let's keep it moving here. Talk about precious metals now, and everyone's favorite, gold. Bloomberg's latest survey of traders suggests gold will rise this week. I'm curious, what's your view?
So gold, I think it's in mind, is very interesting. We had a play where we were actually long platinum short gold, and that actual play seems to be holding quite nicely. So I've been quite happy with that. Gold, in my mind, I think it still remains a little bit under pressure. I think that people, once they see commodities start to come under pressure, will be a little bit relieved over that inflation concern that we all had. And obviously, as inflation moves lower, US dollar higher, the need to hold gold is not as solid as it was given the same picture a month ago. So when I look at gold at the moment, I feel it can go a little bit lower. Pre-Christmas we liked it, but at the moment we're looking to ease out, and perhaps I think gold does go lower.
And we've got John writing into the program. He's asking, what are your year-end targets for gold and silver?
Oh, good one. Given the current set of forecasts, or given the current set of macro and microeconomic concerns that we're seeing, I can actually see gold continuing to trade higher. I think towards the end of the year, I'm looking for gold to be around that 1200 level, maybe a little bit higher than that, but I don't see it actually reaching that 1500 level yet. But through the year, you will see that things will change. The pictures will change, and I feel that's something we've got to be mindful. But out of the commodities, on a dip, I still do like gold and silver. In fact, silver a little bit more so than gold.
And just with about a minute left here, curious your view on platinum as well as palladium as we look at the precious metals.
So I actually feel when the economies start to move on, that platinum, in my mind, it was always the underdog when you compared the precious metals, platinum and palladium. Both the palladium has more of an economic play, which I like, and so does platinum. I actually feel that looking at that, platinum and palladium, I would actually prefer those over gold, and I think the dips on both of those, in particularly platinum, to me, still look very, very solid. So I actually like the whites at the moment.
Jonathan Barratt, we have to leave our conversation there. It's good to see you. Yep. We'll bring you back on and get up to speed on your commodity forecasts again very soon. Jonathan Barratt of Commodity Broking Services, have a great day.